Hello, my name is Stephen Wright. I'm a career coach here at Career Mentor, and we help high-performing financial services professionals make their next smart career move. So in this brief video, I just want to talk about how to get the best out of a video or virtual job interview. And in many ways, it's all about the setup. Now, you may be thinking that as we come out of lockdown, that this is all a bit redundant, but I think you might agree with me that as we go forward, a lot more work, including job interviews, is going to be done in a virtual environment. And before I go through the 9 points that I've got for you, I want to hold my hand up and say that I am absolutely guilty of all the things that I'm going to be talking about. But I've learnt from experience, and I hope you find these things useful. I think you might do. There are 9 of them. Let's go through them. The first one is, number 1, is to be ready and be prepared. So I'm going to suggest that 5 minutes before the virtual interview is due to take place, then you get yourself settled into wherever you're going to be doing the interview. Make sure that you've got all your systems ready, you've got a pen and paper, a glass of water, and that you clear your mind, ready to go through the interview. You're cool, calm, and collected. Second point is lighting. It does not need to be studio perfect, but we do need to be able to see you clearly. I'm acutely aware that I have a window next to where I work, and half of my face is well lit, the other half maybe not so, and that's certainly something that I'm going to be working on. But try and get the best lighting that you can. Also, number 3, think through the background. In many ways, it's a bit weird because you're inviting the interviewer into your home. So be conscious of the background that you are presenting to that interviewer. I think the more organized and bland it is, perhaps the better. Mine is perhaps a bit too bland with the whiteboard behind me. But think carefully about what it is that the interviewer, who in effect is coming into your home, can see. The next one is level. Number 4, it is best if you can have the lens of the camera level with your eyes when you're in a natural sitting position. I've been doing a lot of virtual coaching over the last few months, and it is quite difficult to be talking to somebody when they've got the camera, but they've got the camera pointing down. And so they're kind of looking down on you as they're speaking. Also, I've worked with people who have got the cameras set up in such a way that the camera is over there, but I can see them like that. So I'm kind of looking at the side of their face. And it's difficult to build a rapport like that. So get the camera level with your eyes, level with your face in a natural way. I use an Egoscue block to put my laptop on, and a pile of books or whatever is probably the right thing to do. Number 5 is fiddling. I actually feel quite queasy when somebody is doing an interview with me and they're using their phone and they move it around. They're putting it up here, putting it down there, they move it around the room with them, or indeed they move it from portrait to landscape. It's quite difficult for me to concentrate on the conversation when that's done. So I'm going to suggest that once you've got your device at the right level, then leave it alone, and so you can then allow the other person to focus on the conversation. The other point on fiddling is that your hair is already perfect, your colours and all the rest of it are fine, and think about what you're doing with your hands during the conversation, as indeed you would in a live face-to-face interview. Number 6 is microphone and sound. Well, thankfully, the quality of microphones on phones and laptops and so on is absolutely fantastic. Technology is brilliant, so we don't have to worry about that too much. But also, I understand that a lot of people live in busy households, so there may be some ambient noise of everybody doing their thing, and that's absolutely fine. But see if you can find a nice quiet space that you can have the job interview so that you don't have any background or disturbing noise going on just for that time of that interview. And that leads us neatly on to point number 7, distractions. It's all quite easy to become distracted by messages coming through on your phone and other devices. So my advice would be to keep them out of reach, turn them off so that you can't hear them, you can't see them, and you certainly can't reach them. So that might be a useful thing to think about. Next one, number 8, and this is a problem that is ongoing for me, and I am doing things to try and improve them, and that is connection. So sometimes my Wi-Fi does drop out, and so I'm going to suggest that that's something also, that if you have weak Wi-Fi connection, that is something that you might want to think about, because it's quite frustrating for a job interviewer to have to take it offline and go onto a phone call during the interview itself. Final point is so obvious that I wasn't really going to mention it, but I want to just for completeness sake, and that is presentation. And I'm going to suggest that you might want to think about the clothes that you wear and the way in which you present yourself for this, what is in effect a job interview. Now, it may be a bit weird to put on a tie and a shirt and a suit and all that kind of good stuff when you're at home and you're doing a job interview and it's clearly that you're at home. So maybe you can afford to dress down a little bit, but some sort of smart, professional, casual wear is probably the right way to go. I don't want to get into fashion and that sort of stuff in this conversation, but I think you know what I mean. So I hope you found those 9 things useful. I'll be putting the link for the blog that I wrote about this in the comments below, and thanks very much.